Hey everyone, I'm Diego Viteri. Welcome to a new video, Viteri Boxing. Today I want to teach you about the new champ of UFC, ILIA TOPURIA, the Matador. So for this we need to understand his style, his counter punching and his combination, how he manages to do all this, and so you can do the same thing. So let's begin. So the first thing you need to know in order to box like ILIA TOPURIA is his boxing style. His boxing style is based on a Mexican style boxing. He's actually a fan of Canelo Alvarez.
Before I liked the Canelo style, the body shots, and I tried to copy him.
So what is a Mexican style? A Mexican style will be using a strong base. His stance will be a little bit lower than the normal one. When you have a lower base, it will mean that you can have a lot more power. When you have a strong base, you can generate more power. If you're taller, you can move a lot more. But that's not the case with ILIA TOPURIA. He wants to have a strong base. So from here, what he does, he cuts off the octagon with little steps, small steps. Exactly the same thing as Julio Cesar Chavez used to do. He do little steps, just step to the side steps, but you can't just stay with your head in the same position. So what he does is he uses his short rhythm. Long rhythm is when you move your legs in and out, and short rhythm is when you're just using your head movement. So what he does is he's moving with small steps and also moving his head. He's always using his head to the side, in the center, or to the other side. That way he's preventing the punches. So that's the base of his style, a Mexican style boxing. A drill that you can work at home is basically just using a shadow boxing, but only with these three different elements. The first one is going to be your guard, your posture. You have to be with a strong base, as ILIA TOPURIA, with your both shoulders up. You're going to be covering your face, both hands open, and your chin has to be tucked. It has to be hiding, okay? You have to always hide your chin. From this is the first one, the posture. Number two, you have to be doing little steps, working on your little steps, moving to the sides, pivoting. And the third one is using your head movement. Doing these three things at the same time, okay? You're going to be moving, good posture, and using your head movement. The second aspect that you need to know in order to have a similar boxing style like ILIA TOPURIA is managing distance. You have to manage the distance correctly. If you are pressing to your opponent, you're putting pressure to your opponent, you have to know your range. What's your range? You need to always know your range, that when your opponent can touch you and when he can't touch you. The last thing you want to do is you want to go back. You will kill all the work that you've done. If you go forward putting pressure, you don't want him to punch you, or you don't want to go back or create too much distance. So you have to create a really small gap in order to counter your opponent. So what ILIA TOPURIA does is little steps. He's pressuring, he waits for his opponents, using his head movement, he's provoking them to throw in punches. So once they throw punches, he does a little step back and he counters with three different punches, a good combination. He can do that, or he can also use a frame. He frames and then he throws different combinations. And the third one is the shoulder roll. Whenever they throw a punch, he uses his shoulder roll, he comes back with good combinations. But the important thing is to know your range and to create a little gap, just a little gap, in order to come back with as fast as you can with a counter punch. The second drill that I want you to work at home is just standing in your posture. You're gonna do a little step back. Both feet are gonna move just a little bit. Move a little bit, and from here throw a three-punch combination, making sure that you're rotating your hip, pivoting your foot, all your foot whenever you're throwing a punch. Making sure also that when you're punching, you're throwing a punch in between his guard and one around his guard. And if you can, and if you remember, try to do this small gap and throw punches to the body, because I'm going to talk about right now about ILIA TOPURIA's punches. As you can see, ILIA TOPURIA has perfect fundamentals. You can also learn this in my new course that I just uploaded. So it's boxing fundamentals in my webpage, viteriboxing.com. See you there so we can train together. And third but not least, we have to talk about his power punching. He's not the Matador just because it's the Matador. He has terrific punches, and it's because he has a strong base, and whenever he has a strong base, he uses a good timing, a good sense of timing. Whenever they are stepping, it's the perfect time so he can land his huge punches. And also, let's not forget about his body punches. Most people in MMA, and I have not seen that many body punches as I've seen with ILIA TOPURIA. He throws a lot of body punches, lever shots that actually makes his opponent lower their arms and leave all their face open or their head open for a KO punch. So he has a terrific punch combinations, terrific counter punches, but also he has terrific timing. Thanks for watching my video. Remember that in order to find your style, you have to copy some of your best fighters. After you copy them, you can combine some of them, and after that you will transform into your own style. Remember that I have my online course in which we have complete classes. We're gonna do together warm-up. We're gonna warm up, we're gonna do different kind of drills. From the first class, I'm gonna show you the stance, how to walk forward and backward, lateral movement, pivoting, punching, counter punching, all the things that you need to know for the fundamentals and have the best boxing level. So see you there.